Alrighty, are we live? Yes, we are. You know what? I've got a confession. I'm probably not a winner at craps, and I bet you if you look in your heart, you're probably not a winner either. Because the more you play, the more you lose. However, there are at least three big reasons why none of us are lifelong winners at craps, and we're going to talk about them right now.
Welcome to the Color Up Podcast. Whether you're a seasoned player or a beginner eager to step up to the table, this is your lucky podcast that's all about the thrill and strategy of the casino world. I'm your host, Jeremy. With me is Jim the Professor. Let's get rolling. Well, welcome back. Jim, I don't know if we're a few seconds early, a few seconds late. I've noticed like all my devices are off time, which I don't know how that happens because they're all set digitally.
It's weird because you said, hey, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds. On my screen, it said like 14 seconds. So I was kind of rushed.
Yeah, my phone's ahead. This thing's behind. This computer, it's all set digitally, so I don't know how they all got off sync, but whatever, we're here and we're live, and we're glad anyone who's joining us. We will, if you have questions, comments, you can leave them. Usually we get to them towards the end of the episode during our monster roll.
Absolutely.
And usually we start off kind of a little chit-chatting, catching up on a week. So let's start there. I mean, we can do that. I've missed a couple of weeks.
At least two. So it's been a while.
It's been 2 weeks. And it's not like I've been busy. It's just been, those were travel days for me. So I went to the East Coast because I had a family wedding coming up. And then my wife's like, hey, we're going to Florida anyways. Why don't we do a cruise before the wedding? I'm like, that's actually not a bad idea.
And just to be perfectly clear, you've gone from no cruising in the last 6 months to being addicted to cruising.
Yeah. This is number 6 or 7 in 1 year. So
okay, it's been a whole year.
It has been a whole the end of March. Yeah, so March is my anniversary. I started back in March, because I had earned points, and then it reset on April 1st.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think I've hit at least, I think it was number 6 in 1 year.
So you're going to be in the captain's club if you keep going, or whatever it's called, before too long.
But anyway, so going out to a family wedding, we're like, okay, might as well hit up a cruise before then. So we was actually flying that Sunday, and then we got off the cruise. But then I'm out of town, and I just, bringing the setup and stuff to try to
it's
do
hard
a podcast
to do
remotely.
Yeah.
I don't like the poor quality. And so I'm like, I could have, because at that point I was in Naples, Florida at the wedding, but not doing anything, just hanging out waiting, because the wedding was on a Monday, odd day, but that's just how it worked out.
Well, you probably get a good rate for a Monday wedding. So if they're trying to save a couple bucks. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that
played into it.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, it was available last Sunday, but I just didn't do the podcast. Out of town. And then here, I'm back.
You're back. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was it. And you can ask me about my things, because I do keep track. And
Did you play your super secret strategy on the cruise, or how much playing did you do?
Well, I played 4 nights. It was a 5-night cruise. I could tell you the first 2 nights I lost $245.
Okay.
But I was experimenting. I wasn't playing my secret strategy.
Okay.
And I'm like, I hate losing $245, because it was $115 the first night, $130 the second night. I'm like, this experimenting is not going well.
Over. Yeah. So
I go back to my secret strategy. And the next 2 nights, I still did lose some more, but it was only $85 over 2 nights, and I made twice as many points.
Okay. So,
losing $40 a night, that I can stomach a lot better than losing 100 and some. So
okay.
Yeah, so I had a good time playing, and $40 for a couple, multiple hours is a good deal.
No, that's not
So
bad at
secret
all.
strategy hanging in there.
Yeah, that's cool. And getting points for
Yeah, getting points. And then
playing craps to win a free
after
cruise.
April 1st, my next cruise, the year starts over and your points get reset.
Okay.
So I will try my secret strategy, but at a much higher level instead of piddling around. So I'll probably bump up to a black chip level to play it and see if it's just as conservative. So we'll see.
Did you say black chip level?
Yeah, probably like a $100 lay and a 110 inside, and for a couple hits, and then pull the lay down, and that's
going
it's
all
not
light.
a secret. It's one of my YouTube videos I recently put out that
Okay.
a little hybrid strategy, but after 3 rolls, I'm risk free essentially, and
Okay. Excellent.
we'll see. I mean, you got to bet big to get the points, and you kind of got to play hybrid to hang in there.
Yeah.
If you don't want to lose a bunch, I mean, I can play wide open and but
Full
I might lose
tilt,
2,000.
as they say,
Yeah. I don't want to prepay the cruise. The ideal is to win a free cruise without
That's right.
losing as much as possible. But
Okay.
yeah, so that went well, or basically well. Confirmed that my strategy is still pretty decent for cruising purposes.
Excellente.
Mm-hmm. And I did go to Immokalee Casino, which it's a little town outside of Naples, Fort Myers area.
Okay.
Now, back when I lived there, however long ago, I don't know, it's probably been a decade now. I lived in Naples for 20 years, Naples, Florida, and it was just a slot casino.
Okay.
And then a couple years ago, they got table games, but Immokalee was one of the smaller ones. So the big one in Tampa, or the big guitar one over in Fort Lauderdale. They had the
right.
But finally, at least by this trip, they had 2 dice tables there in Immokalee Casino. So it was kind of fun. One of the nights, or the night before the wedding, we were like, let's go up there real quick and with my siblings, and it was fun to go with my siblings to the casino.
Wow. How'd y'all do?
Well, really good. We didn't have. So one of the siblings was like, as soon as we got there, like, let's get out of here. I want to leave. So Debbie Downer, right?
Right.
And then my brother was the slot player, and he was doing good. So I think he started. I don't know. He won like $1,000, $2,000 in slots.
You mentioned before he's very lucky.
Oh my gosh. My other sibling lost like $100, and that was like their limit. So we just kind of followed him around, watching him play. And I'm like, are we leaving or not? Because if we're staying, I'm going to go play craps.
Right.
And it was just kind of like, well, we're going to go. We're going to stay. We're going to go. And then finally, we left. We didn't stay super long. So
did you see the limits on the table? What were the limits?
I don't know the max. I usually don't check. But one table was $10. One was $15. So
okay.
Good setup.
Yeah,
like
not
that.
bad.
The tables were 16-footers, so they were
battleships.
Yeah, battleships. They were huge, and so a lot of times people couldn't make it to the end.
Had
or
the
they'd go off the table
overhand
'cause they're
toss.
like, yeah, it's like, man, this little old lady, she's got to really wing them to get to the far end.
Okay.
But they were pretty fair. You didn't have to hit the wall.
Right.
They were, if you made a good effort, they counted it. So
okay.
I think they were calling it fair, and I watched a little bit and explained to one of my siblings how to play, because they hadn't really.
They hadn't watched any of your videos.
No, of course not.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Of course not.
Okay.
So yeah, that was it. And then the little wedding was cute, and I helped film with that. So
good.
Yeah. How about you?
Just been busy with school. It's spring sports are cranking up. I'm going to be doing some announcing at some of the outdoor events, obviously. So
do you volunteer to that, or they're like, Jim's the guy to be?
Well, no, there is a small stipend, and sometimes they vary from, not $10, but like $20, $30.
Yeah.
And if I do 2 games, I think I get 40. So
ooh, okay.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot, but it's fun. I just do it just to get to know the kids a little bit. I'm usually up in the press box, and then the parents, and then, I try to, I don't yell out, go, or anything like that, but I try to, you're supposed to be on a PA. It's not supposed to be like on a radio.
Right. You're not Right.
yeah, you're not supposed to be a homer, but there is, excitement, and we call goals and try to get the names of the kids who assist.
I think you should be like.
Oh, it would be
into,
fun. Now the baseball people, they didn't get that message at my school. There,
Yeah.
They've got like a DJ. Everybody's got
Okay.
like when the walk up music. Now batting is Jim the Professor. And
That's
shake
what
it like
I'm
a
saying.
salt shaker.
I think you could. I think you could push the limits because what are they going to do? Take away your $20?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
No.
Not ask you back. They probably.
They might. No, they'd find somebody, but no, it's a lot of fun just to watch the kids play and all. But it's just a hoot now with daylight savings time, and it's bright and pretty. But yeah, it's been a good couple weeks, and excited.
So which
about
way
all
do you
that.
lean with the daylight savings thing? Would you rather have it? I don't know. Do you keep it or get rid of it? Or
I like daylight in the evening, although I'm a morning person.
okay, so you don't mind getting up in the dark, even though you're a morning person.
No, I don't care. I just like when I get home as much time in the daylight as
Yeah, to me, it's like
can.
when it's 5 o'clock and it's dark, it's depressing.
I hate that. It's very depressing.
Okay,
It's
so that means we like it to
more light
I don't know.
later
Now,
in the
right?
day. Yeah, I think this is whatever this is.
whatever it is now, we keep.
Yes, yeah. Although it's pretty dark, it's going to be dark tomorrow morning when I'm doing buses. But it had been, very bright, and the sun was shining in the bus drivers' windshields and everything.
Yeah, and I don't think.
But now it's going to be dark.
I don't think it's an agricultural issue anymore. Anymore, it is. I think a lot of it has to do with kids, right? And
Yeah, I think so.
Health
And I
safety
know,
and that
like in
sort
the
of thing.
morning, I know in the winter they don't like it. Or I think it's in the winter they don't like it because it's dark in the morning with the little kids and
yeah,
all. But yeah, I don't know. I think I like light in the evening when
Okay,
most
I'm with
people are
you.
at work. Yeah, yeah.
and then the old school, what they say in casinos, there are no windows. Although that's changing now. Nowadays there are.
You've seen
casinos
some
with
windows?
Oh
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Maybe glass doors going outside, but I still
Right.
haven't seen any windows really.
I know there's supposed to be. I think is it Rocky Gap or something like that. They have like big, beautiful bay windows to the lake outside and all.
Oh,
the
I don't know.
mountains
I'm gonna have to check this place out. What state is Rocky Gap in?
and- is it Pennsylvania or something like that? Somewhere in the Mid East.
Oh, so East Coast. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yes, life is good.
Cool. Very cool. Now
Yep.
that we've
Knock
spent
that
most
out.
of our hour
Yeah.
and ran everyone off. I don't know. We never really ask. Maybe they like our shooting the breeze. I like it. It's my favorite part.
Yeah, I do too. And there's at least a couple people.
Yeah, there's still
watching,
people popping
yeah.
in.
So
All right,
that's
so I
good.
guess let's go ahead and get to the topic. And
Yes.
I guess you brought this up because I did a video on it a few years ago, and we'll come
Yes.
back to that later with some
Mhm.
statistics that have changed. But what do we have on tap for today, Jim?
So the big thing for today's episode is 3 big reasons why, and I say everybody or just about everybody, why we're all losers when it comes to playing craps, why we lose when we play craps. And you had a video about it, and we will get to some of those reasons. But you had 3 big reasons in yours, and I think they pretty much go along with what I was thinking about. And then we also have some other reasons at the end we're going to pile on. But they're pretty common for most people, and I think even casual players, serious players, other players will all agree that we all fall suspect at times to all 3 of these reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
First off, though, I'll put out a disclaimer,
Yes.
which is as much as I show strategies and things. So this is what they call, craps is what we call a negative EV game or negative expected value game.
And what does that mean for
Which
the
means
layman?
your expected value is negative. So you will lose money at this game if you play it just how it's built,
Right?
the odds, probability, and the amount of, the hold that the casino keeps. An easy way to say this is there's no such thing as a professional craps player.
Okay, I
Because-
got that because I've seen people win and I've won and you've
Yeah, for
won.
No,
But
you can win, you can lose, but if you were to take, $10 million and play this game over 10 years, Well, even
Okay.
still then, there is a chance you could end up positive. But according to math, you should lose a certain percentage of your money. And in some, if you stick to the good bets, and we'll get into this a little bit later, you may only lose, 1 to 2% of your money.
Okay.
If you're, play some of these other bets we're going to talk about, you may lose 15% of your money.
Whoa.
But your expected value is to lose money.
You know what my experience has been when you throw these percentages out, it's much higher, Jeremy. It's a much higher percentage.
Yeah, because it's either you win it all, or you win or you lose it
or
all,
you
right?
lose,
You bring
yeah.
500, and it's long-term math, and that's why I'm more of a proponent of not worrying about that so much. That's why I will dabble in some other bets and say, listen, you don't have to stick to the very best bet, because you're not going to lose 1.4% of your money
Playing
when you
past
go
line.
visit Vegas next month.
No, you're going to lose a lot more than 1.4%.
Yeah, you're going to lose a lot.
Yeah.
No, you're either going to win one day,
Yeah.
or you're going to lose all 500 that you brought, or whatever. It's not. But, and we'll talk about that. What the casino actually holds, or what they actually keep, is kind of shocking, based on the bets that you can make. But yeah, so just disclaimer: there are people who say they're professional. There aren't. There aren't. Now there's definitely professional poker players.
Mm-hmm.
There used to be, maybe still are a little bit, professional blackjack players, because you can get a positive expected value. There's certain situations, video poker, but all the other games in the casino, negative expected value,
Which is the same as our game.
same as our game. You're
Okay.
fighting a losing battle, but you can win, and it should be fun for you. But just play with money you can afford to lose.
Okay.
Okay.
Full disclosure.
Got that
out of the way. Okay.
Yeah. But that being said, we win all the time, or else we would never go back. Like,
Right.
if you lost every time, what's the sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I've had winning years, and I know other people have had multiple winning years out of a decade. Those who keep track and stuff. So you can win, and there are certain things you can do to give yourself a better chance, I think.
Mm-hmm. Put yourself. That's what I tell my students. Put yourself in a position to win.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like how that's worded. And then there are things that you could do that that kind of give you no chance.
Mm-hmm. Which is the first reason on our probably big list. Do you want to break the ice on that one?
Yeah, I would say this is probably the number one reason, and we have poor bankroll management. So why don't you go ahead and break down what that means to you?
My thing is, and it goes along with not just bankroll management, but it's also the bankroll that you bring. I think most people are undercapitalized for the ebbs and flow of the game. And a lot of the things that have big impacts on that are you show up and you think the table minimum is going to be 5 or 10 and it's now 15, or you come on a Friday or Saturday night and it's in the evening and everything, now some of the tables are 25 and you're just sitting there watching everybody else play. And then you've got your, 300, 400, 500, whatever you got in your hand. And you're like, well, maybe if I play just a little bit, I can get lucky a little bit, and that'll buy me some time. And you start justifying this craziness. And I think everybody's guilty of that, because especially if you don't have a hometown place to play and you're traveling to a destination, I think you are more at risk to falling to that limited bankroll. Forget about management. Part of it. Just think limited bankroll. Most people, you've traveled, you've made an effort to get there. You're chomping at the bit, and you don't want to wait till the next morning when the table minimums come down. You've flown in, you've drove in, and I think that's why most people, when they go in there, and I think you said it in your video that we were making reference to. You think you're going to go to a $15, $25 table with $200, and I mean it's going to be minutes for most people. You're going to be gone in minutes, depending, and it really could be literally 1 or 2 minutes, depending on how much you put of that bankroll out there. But that's the biggest one to me, is not having enough bankroll.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, And you said it well. You go to okay, the tables are 10, the tables are 10, and you especially in locations where there's not multiple options, and then the table's 15. Well, shoot, that's 50% higher. Like if you didn't plan for that, that is a huge increase in the cost of the game, or God forbid 25. Right now it's 150% higher. Like, and for me personally, I'll throw it out there. I do not play $25 games. I'll just walk. I just won't do it. It's a personal thing. I think they're preying on us. Mm-hmm. And you don't see those much except for in the East Coast where they hold you captive, like you said, when you travel or you don't have any competition, right?
Right.
So in Vegas,
town,
I mean, $5 tables are coming back in Vegas, actually. South Point now is advertising it. What's the one?
Is it Palms?
Palms is now
I heard a podcast on that this week.
Yeah, so I mean, they'll come back, and it's just competition based, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you get people to come play? You lower it a couple bucks. And trust me, $5 tables are still profitable. So yeah, that's a big thing is you don't bring enough money to play with, and it's tough because people, you talk to someone who's doesn't know much about the game or whatever, and you're like, most tables are $10 or $15. So depending on how you play, and we can get into that if you want, but depending on how you play, you're going to need $500, $1,500 to give yourself a shot. It's like,
what?
What? I mean,
I don't need that much on a slot machine.
Yeah, I brought $100 to have fun with. Like, it's not going to go very well.
It's not going to be much fun.
It's not going to be much fun. And I see it so much when I'm at the tables. It's, they come up with $100 and they do the double whammy, which is number 2 we'll get into. But the first step is they're like, oh yeah, cool. $10 tables. Here's $100. And most people don't make one bet. One bet is $10. That would be, you got 10 shooters. Most people make 2 or 3 bets, right? 4
so
bets.
Now we're talking $20, $30.
Yeah, let's say $30. Three numbers you're betting on.
Mm-hmm.
You got 3 shooters. And unless one of them wins, maybe you win a little bit and you get a 4th shooter, and then you're going home. Like,
yeah. So
the game is kind of expensive, I guess. But if you kind of get some knowledge, man, I don't want to jump around because a lot of these are intertwined.
Right.
But with some knowledge, there's ways that you could play to kind of keep your bankroll, manage your bankroll.
Mm-hmm.
But for sure, the biggest one is just undercapitalized from the very beginning. And I think that is the hugest one.
That's big, especially for a new player, not having enough money when you step up. The second thing that I was going to say with that one is with the bets. You've got to, that bankroll will only go as far as the bets that you're making. And you've got to have some kind of discipline. You can't go in there with $100 and say, hey, give me these numbers, this number, this number. Next thing you know, you make 5 or 6 bets.
Give me the pass line, full odds. Give me the 6 and 8.
Yes.
The hard way is, guess what? Your $100 is now on the table.
Bam.
The next roll, 1 in 6 chance. Good night.
Yeah. It's very, very unforgiving, but it's very much an eye-opener. You can learn very quickly. It's like putting your hand on the hot stove. Once you do it once when you're 3 or 4 years old, you're not going to do it again.
I would hope not, but I've seen it over and over.
Oh, really? Slow learners.
Especially like on a cruise ship where you see the same people, like you're like, oh, you came back tonight again with $100. Like, okay, good luck with that.
Okay.
Yeah. So how do we solve this? Is I don't know where this came from. We've had this topic before. I like to have enough for 10 shoot. Well, first, game plan what you plan on playing.
Okay.
Watch my videos or whatever. Decide, hey, I want to try this strategy. Maybe the strategy is 4 numbers. Maybe it's all 6 numbers, or maybe it's some hard, whatever it is. Let's say it cost $80.
Okay.
Give yourself 10 tries, 10 shooters. You got to bring $800. Enough to get through 10 shooters. And sometimes that's not enough. A lot of times that'll give you a couple hours of entertainment.
It just depends.
It certainly just depends. But give yourself a shot. Don't give it one shooter. I mean, some people like to play that. We're like, all right, all the money, on black, right? And let's let it roll. But if you plan to play for a couple hours with your friends or whatever, I like to have enough for 10 shooters. That's not a magical number or anything. You can, Some people say, hey, bring it up for 20 shooters or whatever it is. But and you could adjust your play style. Like, hey, I'm just going to bet 2 numbers. I'm just going to bet the 6 and 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
So $10 table, you're $24. $240 is enough for 10 shooters at that case, right?
Yeah.
So you could pull it off if you're really disciplined. 1 pass line bet, ride it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could play it for $100, and that's a great bet that you win and lose, go back and forth. Hopefully, it's pretty dang
Although,
near 50-50.
you know, it gets back to that. Yeah, you say it's close to the 50-50, and it's, you know,
But that's again
one
long-term
point
math.
long-term math, but short term. I mean,
Yeah.
you've seen it. I've
Streaks
seen
exist. You lose 7 of them in a row, and you're like,
it. What
dang,
the heck?
$70. I've only got $30 left, and I have not won yet. Like,
Yeah, it's where's the 1.4 in that? You know,
Yeah,
it's just
so-
it's crazy.
that's why they call it gambling, I guess.
Yes. Okay.
So that's the
okay.
gambling part. But yeah, bankroll management. Bring enough money. Bring enough for your style of play.
Mm-hmm.
And what else we got? I don't know about these betting too much. I don't know. Do you have anything else to add to bankroll management?
No, I think that was a big one there. They had, you know, they had some other stuff which I think is going to be more on the lack third
Lack of discipline.
column,
It seems like. Yeah.
But the second one is definitely
So number two
Number two.
reason, big reason that we lose as players.
bad bet selection. Let me
Okay.
repeat. Bad bet selection. The craps table has some of the best bets in the casino. And some people will tell you the number 1 bet in the casino, and it's on the table, although it's not on the table, is the odds bet.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people, it's like the sirens calling on the islands of the old, you know, off Greece, and the and the sailors drive the ship into the sea. And where are they going? They're going to that rocky coast, and for the most part, it's in the center of the board.
Yeah.
You know, in the center of the board is where they're heading. But how do you define a bad bet? Or how do other people?
Yeah, it's a
define
little
bad
different
bet?
from, like, we have very different opinions. Usually, you know, there's like the old rule of thumb: if you keep the house edge below 2%, it's a good bet, which would be the line bets, pass, don't come,
Some
bet, don't
odds.
come. The
Yeah.
odds, 6 and 8. You know, if the VIG's, you know, a lay or a buy on the 4 and 10, if the VIG's only on a win. So there's some bets that'll keep you under 2%. Everything in the middle starts at, let's see, 9.09%, I think, is the lowest. And it goes up.
Yes, it does.
A lot of bets are 11, 13, Danny 7, 16.67%.
Now, when you say that, Jeremy, you know, we just got through saying, hey, you can lose a 1.41 7 times in a row.
Yeah.
Can you lose a 9% bet 7 times in a row too?
Of course you can, right? So that's what they're that's what they're counting on.
But the payout is so much higher, right?
Yeah, those are
So-
more, the payoff's bigger because the risk. So one way to put it would be the chance of you winning is so low that they pay you a lot to win in the
Okay.
middle of the table. But sometimes but again, it's gambling. So if you have fun with it and you have the money for it, the nice thing about the middle of the table is they're usually not table minimum. So if you're at a $10, $15 table, you can usually bet those bets for as low
Smaller
as $1.
increments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you get to a $25 table, then it's usually proportional. It's usually $5 in the middle of the table. But, you know, most of us are playing at $10, $15 tables. You could bet just $1. You're just throwing in $1.
Mm-hmm.
So not the end of the world. Yes, technically it's a bad bet because of the amount that the payoff, they keep that's what house edge is, the percent that the house keeps, right? So
Instead of paying you,
withholding-
yes.
yeah, instead of paying you
Fairly.
what the risk is worth, they shaving off 15% and keeping for themselves and go, here, congratulations on your win. We're keeping 15% of your win. So that's really what house edge is. And in the middle of the table, it's a lot higher. So those bad bets are okay if you're dabbling them a little bit, or use them to hedge, or you have some, certainly, like I said at the beginning, there are no professional gamblers. So don't be like, I get some comments sometimes like, oh no, you only got to play don't pass with maximum odds. No, it's an entertainment game. Have fun. If you like to play every once in a while a yo bet or the hard ways, like, have some fun. You should enjoy yourself, not be like so regimented, because no matter how regimented your system is, long term you're going to lose.
Man, yeah, you're going to lose.
So I'm a little more lenient and say, you know what, it's for entertainment. Have some fun with it.
Okay.
There are some bets that, like, but you're constantly in there, look out, because your money's going to go quicker. For instance, because they're one roll bets.
Is the churn? I think
churn
is a word. Yeah, is which word you've used before.
Right.
It churns very quickly.
The worst bet on the table is surprisingly the field bet. And I see, like, when we talk about these $100 players that come in, you know what they usually play? The field bet.
Just don't. And what's the house edge on the field roughly? If it's
actually very
double?
low, right? It's like 2.5% if it pays triple on one of the numbers.
Triple, right?
The 2 or the 12 usually, and then if it pays double on both, the house edge is still only 5.5%. So, not bad.
Crazy
to some
bad.
bets.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it's a one roll bet and it's $10 or the table minimum.
Table minimum, and that combination together makes it, for most
the
people,
most
a bad
expensive.
bet. Yeah,
so, like,
expensive.
I've done a video on cost per hour. The most churn or the most expensive bet you can make is the field bet every roll with the table minimum, because it's.
But Jeremy, you have so many numbers to win off of, man. It's 16 or so out of the 30.
20, right?
Yeah, 36.
16,
16, yeah, 16, 4, 20 against. I mean,
no,
that
it's not too
seem
bad. Like I said, and it's only 5% house edge, not too bad. We bet the 5 and 9 all the time, place betters, and that's a 4% house edge. So
that's right.
Yeah, but the problem, those
one
stay
roll.
there.
Yeah,
right, and then
one
the
roll.
field is a one roll. So cost per hour, it will just churn your money. You got to go on a hellacious winning streak to give yourself any kind of chance with the field bet. And even if you hit that winning streak, if you stay there, the streak's going to go the other way, and your money's going to go.
It'll happen quick. Yeah, it'll happen quick.
So that is probably the worst sucker bet on the table, is the field bet. And
now
it's weird that way, but it is.
Now, I was going to ask you about this now, because along with these bad bets, some of the tables across the country, and this is going to go into where I think you're going to hopefully pull up that little chart in a little bit. But, when you go into those bonus bets, like top, you go from
small, fire bet,
repeater bet. You go from those all the way up. So you take some bad bets, quote unquote bad bets, and then you have some really quote unquote bad
super
bets.
Steroids,
yeah, super steroids. And admittedly, the professor, once he gets up a little bit, will drink the steroid juice and chase after one in particular that I've mentioned before. But let's talk a little bit about that house edge on those. And I've got them. I pulled up some screenshots from your
most
video.
Of them 20% plus.
So fire bet. A lot of people. You want to describe the fire bet for the people who don't know real quick?
You make a bet, and then you got to hit so many individual unique points.
That's right.
You established 4, you got to hit the 4. Then you establish 6, you got to hit. So usually, some of the, depending on the pay scale, you got to hit 3, or sometimes 4 before it starts paying off. Yeah.
So 20.7.
It's what is it?
20.76% house edge.
20% house edge. Okay.
Repeater, which one of our buddies, Demon Dog, loves it. It's 18.4 to 21.9, depending on the number for the repeater bet. You want to describe the?
Yeah. If you bet on the 2 is going to repeat, you got to hit the 2 twice. If you bet on the 3, you got to hit it 3 times. You bet on the 4, you got to hit it 4 times. So if you believe that you can roll repeating numbers, hey, you clean up.
Why
right?
not?
Take the casino for all their money. But yeah, you're repeating the numbers, and that's what the bet is. And yeah, again, 20%.
And then my favorite bet,
As
when
well as
I'm
most
up,
people's, I would say.
and, yeah. So I've got good company, but for whatever reason, Mister Keep the House Edge so low is the ATS. And once I get up with house money, I will actually make a bet. I will go from less than 1.5% edge when I'm playing my disciplined game. I'll go from 1.5 edge, and I'll go up, depending on the table and the payouts, 18.3 to 20.6.
Yeah,
Jeremy,
more
what's
20%
wrong with
bets.
me? Yeah,
It's just so
crazy.
darn fun.
It is very
don't
fun.
blame
It's like
you.
playing bingo. It's playing bingo.
Yeah,
It's not-
you
it's
gotta,
not
and
one
you gotta
roll.
just mark off all the numbers. So
That's right. It's like busting out the card on bingo.
now there was a casino that just announced that they went to the good payoffs, which the good payoffs was when the game originally came out, like 174 and 50 to 1
yeah.
is how they paid, and the house edge is like 8%. So it's like 7.5 or something. So for a side bet, amazing. But most casinos now pay 150 to roll all the numbers, and 30 to or 30. 35,
Yeah, it used to be like 34 to. It used to be 34 and 174, 175,
or-
whatever. Yeah.
And
But
yeah,
now it's 150 and 30.
and 30. Yeah, so it took the house edge from like 7 to 20.
Yeah, 20%. So, but
So-
those are the really bad bets.
You will. You're not going to hit. I mean, you do hit these bets win, and that's why we continue to play them. They don't hit that often. Essentially, you're throwing your money away.
Mm-hmm.
But the good thing is they're not one roll bets, and you can bet them. Sometimes as low as $1 or $5. So you're not investing a huge amount of money into them. So I'm okay with them.
Okay.
If you're having fun with it, but they're collecting 20%. So even if you rolled these things and they hit, okay. So the one is it pays you 150. It used to pay you 174, 175.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That means it's only happening like once in 190 times.
Right.
Right.
So you're telling me there's a shot. There's a chance.
There is a chance. And the chance is like 1 in 190. I don't know the exact math, but it's more than
Right.
what they're paying you, right? So if you think like, if you're going to stick around for, we talk about sticking around for 10 shooters. If you stick around for 180, 190 shooters, you may just win.
You got a chance.
If you bet $1 every time, 190 times,
Right.
one of the times you'll win back 175
170,
for guess
yeah.
what? A loss of, or
Yeah.
now at most tables
Net.
50, a loss of 40
Yeah.
bucks. But we're gambling. We're hoping obviously we hit it in the first 20 shooters, and it
Sure.
happens. It happens. That's the gamble. But the math is the math. The casino makes their money because they know it's only
Every
going to happen.
time. Every
One out of
time.
ni-
How
one out
many
of
times? Hey,
190, right?
you want to get back up on top? 555,
Yeah, come on,
25,
everyone,
25.
come on,
Yeah.
Let's get your
It's
bonus bet in. Get your bonus bet in. So,
all of these bets have a cumulative effect. When you start
Yeah.
adding the 20%, the 18, the
Yeah.
15, the 9, whatever.
especially
So
one roll bets, they're churning.
they're churning. They're
Yeah.
churning, even though it's only 5% or whatever. So all of these things start adding up. And I think now might be a good time, especially we've got a lot of people on here. Let's bring up the chart that you had from a couple years ago, and we found the updated February of 2025 version. And tell them what they're looking at, Jeremy, as far as what the basic games that they have up here.
Yeah, so this is just they've kept all their data since 2004, and it's like you said, it's been updated. And this is their hold, which is essentially what they keep from the table
For running the game.
for running the game.
Yep. What percentage? These are
Right.
all percentages, right?
So this is their hold percentage. So whatever they take in $1 million. They're holding whatever this chart says. So if you could just look at the top category there, the average hold for 21 or blackjack is 12.7, about 13%.
Okay.
And you go, whoa, wait a second. I thought blackjack was an amazing game, and it's essentially, if you know pretty close to basic strategy.
Perfect strategy. If you play
2%.
perfect strategy, right?
If you play perfect strategy, it's under 1%. If you card count perfect strategy, it's positive.
Yeah.
Somehow the casino's keeping nearly 13% of everyone's money. That's what they're holding. Craps. Craps has some great bets. 1.4% on the lines, right?
No house
Pass or
edge
down.
on the odds.
It lowers your average. When you combine those two bets together, now you're at 0.5%, 10%, less than 1%. But for some reason, the casino's holding over 14%, Jim.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It's terrible.
Roulette's almost 19%. Baccarat. Baccarat is the craziest one to me because there's only 3 bets in it. 2 of the bets are like 1.5%. And
so how do they get up to 12?
Well, I know the tie. I don't know what the tie is. I think tie is 10%.
But that's 12.85. That's 13.
I believe it's because now all the games, especially these card games, have progressives, and they're adding other side bets into these suckers.
Okay.
Where you make, not only in Baccarat do you make a bet on banker or player or tie, but now you could bet, hey, if you whatever the progressive is, and then you can win $1 million or whatever it is, or same with 21. Hey, if you get 21 with 3 sevens, you win 777,000 or whatever it is. They throw in these crazy things, and people eat that stuff up.
Okay.
I guess we're all slot players at heart, after all, because we all
Apparently.
want the big jackpot.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're talking craps, 14%. The high is 20. The low's 8. That's good, I guess. Yeah, and you said it's changed over time.
Yeah, keep going down a little bit, and you can go here at historical data. Look at you just pick the first year, 1992. What do you see for craps there?
14.5%.
Okay, and then as you go on up through the years, it gets as low as some years 13%. I think there's a couple 11s in 2009, 11.55. And I'm testing my eyesight because you have a very small font on there. But anyway, as you scroll to, like, I think the year that you did your video was 2022, and you had the data, which I think your data was through July of that year, and it was 15.99 in July of 2022, and then it finished up that year, I think, over 16%. So if you go to 2022, it was over 16%. 2023, 16.71. But then 2024, what has happened, Jeremy? It looks like it's what?
15.
It dropped a little bit. Yeah, now, what does that tell you?
People have laid off the yo bet. I don't know. It's the
side bets or something. Yeah, right.
Their hold percentage is a little bit. Now, the funny thing is, if all of us played pass line with odds, they would only hold 1% or less, and no,
because for some players they'd hold 100%, and other players they would they would hold 1.4 if you were lucky.
They can work off the long term math because they're open 24 hours. They don't close. They don't have a closing day, so they're open.
And they have as many colored chips as they need.
Yeah. They'll just print new ones if they run out of them. But so it says that we're bad bettors. We're worse bettors than we think we are.
Okay.
They're holding a large percent of our money, and part of that is skewed. And not that we're all making 15% bad bets. But like I said, when you go in with $100 and give yourself no chance, the hold on that is 100%.
100%. Yeah.
So this isn't. I do want to make it clear. This is a little different than house edge. This is the hold, or the percent they're keeping. So all those guys coming in with $100, you see them if you go to the casinos that often. they're in and out in 15 minutes, that hold is 100%.
Right.
So that's how this number gets skewed up. Is because of lack of, number one reason, the biggest reason, lack of bankroll.
Right.
How much they're bringing to the table. And that's just understanding of the game or just denial, I guess.
Okay.
Or the game's kind of expensive, right? Because I said,
it's not a cheap.
Yeah,
it's not cheap.
$700 if you want a shot. Like, ooh, okay, that's a little, Most hobbies don't cost you $700 when you go for a night.
Even if you're going to have a drone or something and you're going to race drones or whatever, you got to have a hobby. You got to have some bank to do it. But I did want to say a couple of things. One is we're going to get to everybody's comments and thoughts here in the Monster Roll. And don't forget, we are powered by Sports Grid. We're not sponsored, but if you want to look us up on your favorite
podcast app, check out Sports Grid,
Color Up
podcast.
There you go. Awesome. So we'll get to everybody in a second. So our first big reason why we're all losers or why everybody's losing is one, bankroll, right? Number two is bad bet selection. And now we're ready to go to number three, Jeremy.
And this one's such a huge category.
This is a big one. It kind of meshes the other ones too.
Yeah.
And that is lack of discipline, emotional control. Emotional control.
Yeah. For some, that's more of a trick than others.
Okay.
I'm not a very emotional guy, right?
No. You're a wise guy. Yeah, you're stoic at times at the table.
Most people are like, "Are you mad? Or you ain't?" No, it's just how I am. I don't get too excited.
Marcus Aurelius stoic. That's what I think of when I think of
personality.
Jeremy.
So, so with that personality trait comes, I can stick with a strategy through the trends. And it's not gonna, I'm not gonna be like, oh crap, I've lost 5 times in a row. Time to chase my losses, double my bets, right? Which I'm a big no. Do please, if you want to increase your bets, increase when you're winning, not when you're losing. Please don't chase your bets. I'm
chase those losses,
or martingaling, or please don't do that. So it doesn't affect certain people, but the most people, I would say, fall in their emotion category. Everyone's winning. I'll bet as they bet, or everyone's losing. There is an emotional tie to it. I won't say that sometimes I'm getting a little sweaty and I'm like, oh, please, I got to roll a 6. I do get that internally a little bit, but I'm not going to like change my bets or go way outside of
how about
my
somebody's
comfort zone. Or
you talk about emotion. How about somebody's like, you're like me, maybe a 3-point Molly thing, or if you got 3 bets on the board. And here comes the 9. 9. All right. Another roll. 9 again. And maybe I've got every number up there but the 9, and then you're 9, and then you hear everybody saying, full press. And I'm just sitting there crossing my arms, looking very
with your
down.
Good bets.
With these good low house edge. And I'm just seeing that 9 pounded and pounded and pounded. And then what happens, Jeremy? I fall to the emotion. I put the 9, I place the 9, and then bam, 7 out. Yeah. It's just, and not only does it take my 9 down, my other good bets go down as well too, including the odds bet where they have no house edge, right? Such a great bet. But that bet loses an awful lot of times, way more than 1.41%.
It never has advantage. It's always more likely to lose than win, the odds bet.
It's just crazy. It's crazy. But I can get very emotional on that when I'm seeing everybody else pounding.
You struck a chord when you mentioned 9, because my secret strategy that I've been playing lately, after I start with the inside, as soon as I get one hit, I pull down the 9. It's just what I do. I always pull down the 9. Once I get a second hit, I pull down my lay bet. So sure enough, I pull down that 9, at least the confirmation in my head, what seems to always happen, the 9 starts rolling. I'm like, why didn't I just pull down the 5? And I'm like, All right. Well, if it hits one more time, I'm going to move my 5 to the 9. You know, that's the emotional part. But I don't.
Oh
I
my
just stick it out.
God. Yeah.
Because I know, like you said, as soon as I switch, 7's going to
and
roll
the,
or
and
the
the
5 will start rolling.
and the other thing, as a comeback player with odds, you know, I'll get all the numbers. You know, if I'm winning and I'm up, and I get all the box numbers covered, and I have odds for a guy with my kind of bankroll. That's like 2 or 3 shooters, and I've got odds up there, and I'll think, oh my gosh, maybe I should pull my odds down or cut my odds down to 1.
Yeah.
And I'll be sitting there and I'll be arguing with myself, and I'll be thinking, oh my gosh, should I do it? No, all I need is 1 hit, and if I can get 1 down, then I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And nope, I don't do it. I don't do it, or I'll do something stupid. I'll say, you know, that 9 was hitting. Maybe I'll increase the odds on the 9, or, you know, now I've got the comeback that went up to the 9, and I do that, and I just get pounded. It's the emotional attachment to the game and to the bets, and it's so hard when you're watching other people win, and you're you're trying to play smart or whatever. You're seeing other people win with bad bets. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. And there's an intellectual double slap in the face. You know, I feel like saying, you know, you guys are getting lucky. Don't you know how smart I'm playing over here while I'm losing?
Yeah,
you
genius. Way to go.
Yeah, you know, and in my mind, and then here's the other thing, and I don't know if anybody else, and we'll get to this in the monster roll, but if you have other people, you get to some point, you've been hanging around a while, and then finally you've been playing for hours, you're not up, you're not down, then you start saying, okay, you know, I got to put my money in here. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to go to bed either way. I'm going to go to bed happy, or I'm going to go to bed unhappy. But either way, I'm a winner. I'm going to go to bed, and you just
walk
start
away decision.
walk away, and you start putting that money out there, and and then it's just like bam. It's the emotional discipline to stick with the plan.
You know what's a killer when you're talking about like fear of missing out on numbers. So, you know, one of the most popular strategies is some form of the Iron Cross, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not missing out on any roll. You win on every single roll of the dice except for the 7. But it goes back to the bad bet, but the problem is
how many times?
Field.
Yeah, how many times you got to win? Yeah.
Right. So, you know, that's one where you solve the one problem of missing out on the numbers because you're like, I don't want to miss out on any numbers, but you create a whole other series of problems where you're breaking even or not winning enough with the most popular numbers, 5, 6, and 8.
Mm-hmm.
And then meanwhile, if you're missing out on the field, that sucker's churning because you're playing at every roll. So your bankroll's going fast. So yeah, a lack of discipline and emotion. There's so many different ways that it bites us, really. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we have additional reasons, but these are all kind of fall under, the discipline thing. So you want to kind of go through some of the more?
Yeah, we can knock out some of these additional reasons there that we had. Breaking from your strategy, you talked about fear, but, how about this one? And this is most, not experienced players, but it goes, and some of them tie back to the other ones, but not understanding the game, not understanding the bets. You just come on up there, and you will, before you know it, you're going to be in the 100% club. Hey, what's that?
Yeah.
I like the 11. You want to bet the 11? Sure. And the stickman says she's $25 11. Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, you didn't win that time. Give me another $25. So
yeah, beginner telling another beginner, like, here's an easy bet. Here's the field bet. We've already talked about that as a problem.
Yep.
Or if you listen to the casino, it's usually, hey, the best bet, go ahead and put down $10.
That's not with odds.
The 6 rolled, guess what? Now put $50 behind there because you're allowed 5 times odds.
Oh, you're going to love it. You're going to love it.
You're going to love it. Now you got a $60 bet.
Oh, absolutely.
Good luck, sir, because, you only brought 100 and now you got 60 out there on the 5.
It's not going to happen. And then the next
it's not
one.
favored to win.
Oh, yeah. And then the next one is playing too long, because if you just keep hanging around, the more you play, like you said, negative EV, you got to get off the table, because we've all gone up and we've gone down, and it's like that. Like I mentioned before, that Carly Simon song, "Going Down with the Ship."
And that's a tough one because there's a lot of factors like you're there on vacation. You traveled across the country.
Your buddies are playing.
Yeah. You know, you'll run across YouTubers like, you know what? Set a win goal. As soon as you hit the $100, leave.
Who does
I
that?
could have hit the $100 on for 2 rolls, and now I'm gonna have to leave and what? Go sit by the pool for the rest of the vacation? Like, you gotta be, you know, there's a
reasonable
balance there. You gotta be reasonable. So, but I don't like to set necessarily a cap. I don't like to set caps for my wins. I like to adjust my cap up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're winning, great. Set, you know, okay. If I give back $200, then I'm gonna stop, right? But I'm still gonna walk away with a $300 win, or you know, and then you win another $500. Well, now I'm gonna, no matter what, I'm walking away with a $500 win, but I'll give $300 back. You know, or I like to keep adjusting up.
Okay.
But
you don't adjust down.
No, I don't adjust down. I'm not, you know, and I try not to be too emotional, get on that tilt where you mentioned like,
yeah,
all right, I got $150. I might as well just go for it. Usually I'll be like, you know what? I'll gladly walk away with $70. You know, I came with 300. I'm going to walk away with $70. I took a beating, but you know, I'm not going to take it to zero.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of up for you to set, but yeah, playing too long could be a problem, but there's other factors. You got to be reasonable with that.
Sure. How about we'll go to the next one? Superstitions and myths. Making decisions based on superstitions. You know, hey, dice off the table.
See a horn, bet a horn.
Yeah.
If the horn rolls, now I'm going to throw in what? $5, $10.
Oh yeah.
If the myth was real, you should throw in $100. You know, and hope that it hits again. But you can get in trouble chasing those because they're not mathematically based. They're superstitious based.
Yeah. How about streaks? Believing in streaks. Do you believe in streaks, sir?
Yes and no. So
okay.
If you look back in the past, yes, there are streaks.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem is looking forward, you can't predict the streaks.
So you can't tell the difference between an 18 roller and a 19 roller is what you're saying. Or if there's going to be a 20 roller. Is the 20
I can't tell the difference
21.
between a 5 roller or a 20 roller. That guy, you know how it happens, like, oh, that guy's a good roller. He rolled 20 last time. And, you know, it comes around the table and then he rolls a 2 next time, right? So
bad toss.
Yeah, bad toss. Something happened. But, yeah, there are definitely streaks. But every roll is independent. So, you know, these people, you'll see them, they're keeping track in their books. They do exist. The problem is the very next roll is independent. So you could keep track as much as you want. Man, you know, whatever. The field is hit 6 times in a row. Does that mean it's going to continue or does that mean it's going to turn?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
who knows?
Yeah, looking back, it's easy.
We've run out of 6. Maybe the dice run out of 6s or something.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Or 8s. They can run out. This is another one that's happened to me a bunch of times. Although I don't think it's why I'm a loser, but getting distracted, side conversations. I don't drink though, except for Diet Cokes, and this is one not paying attention. I love the social aspect of the game so much. Yeah. I'm joking around with my buddies and I'm like, yeah, and they said, oh, you didn't have a comeback. Oh no, you didn't win on the yo. I missed out or
it's
whatever.
Minimal, I would say, effect.
I don't know. Depending on if you're a drinker or not. I think. There's a reason why they give you the they give you There's a reason why they give the free drinks.
That you're changing your mentality. But if you're distracted a little bit, for one, if you have a good dealer, they'll remind you, hey, sir, do you want your comeback?
Okay.
You know, if you're in a conversation. So I would say drinking and the distractions are a little different. Or, you know, if you miss a bet, you're probably better off not making a bet, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yes.
Or like if you're an assistant player like you, very systematic, it's hard to mess up, right? But if you have some crazy strategy and you got to like focus on it and you get distracted, you know, and then, but you need your come bet followed by the DC bet. Otherwise, you're
with the craps bet, my hopping sevens.
Then it could hurt.
Yeah.
But
that's a lot going on.
But I would say probably drinking is almost its own category because it's literally meant to distort your.
I did skip over
process a little bit.
Another one, which was ignoring the math, not considering probabilities.
Yeah, well,
what are your chances of rolling a 12? You know, one out of
one
what?
36.
One out of 36. And you can, and I've been on, you know, stadium craps where they've kept track of everyone, and it's, you know, 1 out of 36, and it's been 303 rolls since the last midnight.
Yeah.
You know, and then
It's due.
It's due. And people just churn them out. So yeah, that could have a definite impact on why we're losers. This one here, relying on betting systems, thinking they eliminate the house edge. You know.
Yeah, we're mixing up bets, but they don't change the house. Every bet is
its own
individual.
independent.
Even hedging strategies, where you're betting, you know, back and forth. No, technically, this carries the house edge and this carries. You can't combine them and lower the house edge in any way. So,
no.
Yeah, there's no mix of bets that's going to get you better off.
Now, this was one that was on the list, which it said not adjusting when conditions change. I did not agree with this one because, again, it goes back to each roll being independent, but sticking to one approach regardless of what's happening. But if you're on a long roll and you're, you know, if some people say, hey, Jim, you know, you needed to place the 10, the 10's up to, you know, $200 or $250, you know, next one that hits, it's a $500, you know, whatever, you know, not
yeah,
500.
this is very similar to the same conversation as trends. So I mean, there's a lot of proponents of this. Like, you got to be able to bet the dark side and the light side. You got to have different strategies because the table changes. And a lot of big proponents of this. Yes, but you know, if you switch to that other, now you go dark side, the dice can change on the very next roll, and now they're all light side. Like, and I found myself like, okay, if I switch things up, and now that switch up starts losing, and now I got to switch again. Oh, guess what? Now that switch is starting to lose. So I prefer just to stick with one method through a session. Ups and downs, and see how it goes, because it's not, to me, there's nothing more frustrating than adjusting and then my adjustment loses
and goes the other way. Yeah, that's just
but
great.
A lot of people, you know, believe that you should, because, like, you know, because the table does trend.
Yeah,
the only problem is I sure wish I knew which way is trending in the future, but I don't think anyone knows. So
okay. Now, one of the big things in the video that we referenced, and I don't know if we can, you know, hook it up to the whatever description is on the Apple things or not when we go to do it. But one of the things you said is people don't walk away. That was their one big reason why we're all losers. And we either don't walk away when we still have some money in our pocket, or we don't walk away when we're up as high, and some people will just never walk away.
Yeah.
And that's really a crazy place to be. But talk about walk away and why do you think that's an important thing? Because you did mention it in your video.
Well, I mean, we touched on it earlier on.
A little bit, yeah.
There's no such thing as losing 1.4% or losing 2.56% or whatever. So most people, they're going to have a winning session or they're going to have a losing session. With the winning session, you know, some people do the, you know, hey, I'm up 200, I can walk away. Or like I say, I like to keep adjusting up as you're winning. When you're winning, you're happy, right? Everything's amazing. You won, whatever it is you won. Sometimes it's big. Sometimes it's like, yes, $100 profit. I'm happy, right?
Right.
Paid for dinner or whatever. Typically, most people don't lose 10%, 20%, half their money. Most people will take it to zero.
Yeah.
And I will say that that's not necessarily wrong if you're like, okay, my budget is $500. It's going to last for 10 shooters. So yes, you're going to run it down. That is your stop loss. You're going to take it down to zero. That's okay. But if you come in, you buy in with 2,000, but mentally you're like, I should walk away at 500 because I really can't afford to lose 2,000. I'm going to walk away at 500. But you go past that number and you're like, let me try a little bit longer. Then you're down 750. Then you're down 1,000. That's how most people do it. Or, the old walk of shame.
Yeah, heading toward that ATM.
Get to zero.
Heading toward that
Go to the
ATM.
ATM. Let's try it again.
Yeah.
That's worst case scenario. But yeah, most people either win and it's great, or you take it to zero. I don't see it very often when people are like, you know what? I've had fun. It's been an hour. I've lost $100. I'm going to call it a night.
I think you're either walking toward if it's a good night, you're walking toward the cage. If it's a bad night, you're heading back to the room. And if it's a really bad night, you're walking toward the ATM. And I've seen people do it. Like, I've seen people come in, and I've been seesawing around, hanging around the table for an hour or two, and here comes another guy. And
you know what it is? It's that guy that has the $100. He went, got $100. He came back.
Yeah, he went to the roulette table, won it all back, and now he's come. No, I swear you can see it on their faces when they come back the second time or the third time, and they're just crazy. Big buy-ins on that. But yeah, not walking away is the biggest one to me. And then the last one that you had on this list was kind of the same thing: lack of experience, lack of having a plan, not watching a video, not reading a book, not checking out some websites. Because if you don't have some basic knowledge, it's like you're handling an alligator, you're handling a scorpion or something. You're going to get bit.
Just like anything in life. I mean, please go into something with some information to help you out. Like, give yourself a shot. It's tough to come into anything and be good at it or win at it.
Hey, I think I want to try MMA, exactly.
Especially a game where you're expected to lose. Like, if you go into a game where you're expected to lose, you don't give yourself a shot if you don't even have some basic information and knowledge and ways to play. So,
okay,
the more knowledge can only give you a better shot at hopefully taking advantage of some luck.
Okay. So overall, let's review real quick because a good teacher.
There is one last.
Go
one.
ahead. Yeah. What's the last one?
You mentioned it to me pre-show.
Which one?
It has something to do with.
Hold on now.
It's not on the list.
It wasn't on the list?
I can't believe you forgot.
Oh, I know what it is. It's the unwritten one. It's, again, lack of knowledge. I remember now. You guys ready?
Yeah.
It's dice control. Dice influence. Yeah.
Yes. If you don't have dice control,
then you don't have a shot, apparently, because you're not going to do it. Now, I know I'm teasing out there.
I set you up for
yes,
a cheap
you
shot.
did. You did. I know I'm teasing. And again, I know we've got some guys right here. We got 30 people, 27 now or whatever, because 3 of them just clicked off because I made the joke about dice control. But, yeah, there's some people who truly believe if you have the knowledge of the dice control, and for $500,000 donation or whatever, they're going to train you on setting the dice a certain way, that you are going to go ahead and do that. But yeah, full disclosure, again, we're all pulling for everybody at the table.
Yes.
However you throw the dice, if you want to believe in it, that's great. If there's a correlation in it that you see, I'm all for it. Just don't try to convince me, because I don't think I'll ever be able to be trained up enough to have the discipline. That kind of thing. But that's right. I forgot about that one.
There is
Jeremy.
certainly a segment of the craps community that believes that is the key to not losing, is to be able to learn and practice how to control the dice. So
control
we would be
dice.
Remiss, is that the proper word?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Remiss if we did not bring
that one up.
Even though you may have brought it up in kind of a
negative, not negative. I don't know. I just
we love you all.
Yeah,
and
I'm teasing.
Long rolls for everybody.
Yeah, long rolls, and if you're however you're throwing the dice, right or left-handed. Eyes open, eyes closed, whatever the case may be. Again, long rolls for everybody. That's what we're hoping.
So to recap, avoid these biggest mistakes.
Yes.
Decide how you're going to play so you bring the proper amount of money to the table.
Bankroll. That's number one.
Have some knowledge of the game so you understand the good bets versus the bad bets.
That's true.
When to make them and when not to make them.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is just to realize everything that you got to work on some discipline.
Yes.
You know, don't go to the ATM. Come
There's a
on.
reason why they have Gamblers Anonymous, Jeremy.
Yeah, because you can get in trouble.
Yes, you can.
And we don't want that for you. We want it to be
Nobody.
entertaining and fun. And with a little luck, you can color up.
Well said.
Yeah. So with that, I think we can go ahead and head to the monster roll. Let's get to any comments and questions. There wasn't a whole lot of questions, but if you have questions, now is the time. Please, we're here. I mean, I got a late night. I got to film a video tonight because I'm late. I forgot I'm due 2 videos tonight for Sports Grid.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
and daylight savings times means nothing to you. What's an extra hour that you haven't slept?
Yeah. So I'll be up late tonight working.
Anyway.
But anyway, if you have any questions, please, I'm here. Jim's here. We don't know much about dice control, but we'll answer other questions.
Other questions I can help you with. No, but not about the DC or the DI and all. But we got a lot of people to say hi to. We did have, I think, 30 plus over there.
Panthers colors.
Yeah, Carolina Panthers.
It
Yeah. That looks like
okay,
Carolina
football.
Panthers on there.
That's true.
Yeah. So we had a few people who said, hey, at the start. Stanley, start. Jeremy, glad you like the chip.
Oh, yeah. Stanley. He checked this out. A chip from the Philippines.
Hold on.
Probably dark, but...
Okay, it looks like it's red on the outside and black in the middle. Oh, he's zooming in. That helped. Ooh,
it's got like
cool.
a coin kind of thing in the middle. It's 100, whatever their
Jeremy
is over there.
Is that Bitcoin? Is that what Bitcoin looks like? That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was very cool. So thank you for the chip.
And look at that was really cool the way you zoomed in like that. Made my face big.
Yeah, I can zoom in on just you.
Ah! That's funny. So Stanley, thanks for being the first one in the room, and then Mike, 85 Bears, one of our biggest fans, and club member, and all. He was playing last night with another one of our guys, Nemo.
After a big winning roll, you are betting on another winning roll if you don't walk. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But again, like if you've traveled though and you're not at a local casino, I don't know.
But if you're the first time you get there and you hit the monster roll, the first person rolls the ATS.
Well, let's say you don't even hit the monster roll. Let's say you win $60. Time to go?
Not when I've spent $500 dollars on airfare or whatever back and forth.
Yeah.
To Norfolk,
So it's
Virginia
a
Beach.
tricky thing. Like if you live in Vegas, it might be one thing. Because you kind of are betting to continue to you're betting on to win again, but you're there to play, so you got to find the balance for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's definitely if you're traveling, you're committed, and again, you're committed over a period of time. You're going to take whatever bankroll you have. Most people will chunk it up over days or sessions, or like you were talking about on your cruise. If you have so much money on your cruise to chunk up. So that was a good one.
Holy Roller's been in here, I think, a few times, but I like Jeremy's insta-toss when he influences dice to land randomly. I got to tell you, though, I have changed up my toss a little bit.
You have.
So I've been kind of
used to be
famous
the
for
fling,
as soon as
you get
I
them,
like
you
to
launch.
keep the stick is coming, I'm grabbing, and right back out, my insta-toss. I still do that as fast as possible. But I do grab them, try to keep them together, and throw them with a backspin. And I'll tell you, more often than not, they're sticking pretty close and doing it looks like a controlled throw, right?
Oh, wow.
And I think it pleases those people. Okay. But I don't take 30 seconds, like set them up and stuff. I just grab them and do I try to put some backspin on them. So it's a little different than the instant toss. It's like the insta back roll or backspin. So I haven't played with Brian in a minute, but I have changed up my toss a little bit to the insta backspin, maybe we'll call it, or the ASAP backspin.
And Brian, it's been a while since I played with Jeremy either, but I bet you he's still looking at about 16% chance of rolling a 7 on any given roll. So
yeah, unfortunately,
it happens. But anyway, Pete was one of the early birds that said, hey, and I saw he had a comment later on. So hey, Pete, and then of course our good buddy Ken, Weary Buyer Ken, and Color Up Club member, and one of our newer administrators now too, right?
Yeah,
Jeremy?
he's one of our hosts.
A
He
host, that's
mentioned,
what it is. Yeah.
on Carnival Cruise at the moment, ATS is now $5 minimum, no more $1 bonus. That stinks, but
So you have to go $5,
Five.
yeah.
Or 5 on one of them. I've
Right.
seen that in tables. They're now bumping.
What is it on Royal?
I have never seen the bonus bet on.
Yeah,
Royal.
I haven't seen it on Royal either. I didn't know if because you and Brian kind of go on.
Yeah, Brian would
few
know.
more.
I think he's been on almost all of them, so he can chime in.
So
I've never seen a bonus bet on.
yeah,
Royal
if he's still
table,
around.
which is good for me because I'm not wasting my money on him. But
Okay.
yeah, I've
Unlike
seen that.
the professor.
So I know a lot of tables, like especially like $5 tables, like Ellis Island was always the ATS was $5 because you get these players who'd come in $5 on the pass line, and then they would just ATS and they were just there for the ATS, and I don't know.
It happens.
It does.
happens.
1 out of 190 times or whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
That's
sometimes
pretty
2
good.
times back to back. That's where you see it on Facebook. You get the picture and like, oh,
Yeah,
I
the
won 'cause
chip-
the
the
ATS
chip
rolled
horn,
twice
yeah.
in a row.
Yeah.
Well,
It happened.
it happens. It's gambling. That's why we do it. No
Yeah.
bonus bets on Royal, says Brian.
Okay. And then Great Craps was. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to
No, it's
overget
okay.
you. Yeah. So
Great-
Gray. Yep.
Great
Mhm.
craps. Yeah.
Yep. One of
I
our
clicked
cool
on
guys.
a comment from Neo, said I'll be happy with a 20% win.
So $500. You're talking 100.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm happy with 100. If you bring 100 and you only win $20, it doesn't seem like much, but percentage-wise,
The same.
percentage-wise, 20% is a good win.
See, I
guess that goes
greedy.
back to when our conversation. I should have mentioned that, like, talking about win
Expectations.
goals or increasing
Yeah,
win goals.
expectations.
Most people, it's like it's either double or nothing. It seems.
Yeah, I like doubling up. I consider it a double up, and that's the only thing I will ever post. I won't say, "Hey, I made $70."
Yeah,
Woo-hoo,
yeah.
But
I think the problem is people. Okay, let's say we start with 500, and we don't get $1,000. We'll walk away. Awesome. But if we get to 800, nah, we keep playing, and then it goes back down to the losing session. Then we come back 750. Nah, we go back down to losing. Then we go up 900. Oh, we're so close, but we keep playing and we lose it all. Right? Like we don't walk. It's like it seems like most people.
But that's where I have my stop
Plan is
loss
double or nothing.
because I'll say, "Hey, look, I've doubled up. I'm not
Yeah,
going to
okay.
leave because I got to have I need to have the 2 pumpkins,
Yeah, I like
in
that.
with 5, out with 5, out with 1,000 or whatever." But anyway, we had another hello at the beginning here, which was Robert. Good to see you. Bobby Martell. Let's see.
Holy Roller says only superstitious because it happens. I mean,
Oh yeah, dice off the table and whatever other all the other superstitions that go with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a little stitious there.
You look smart when you do that. It's like the dice call out and you go, turn off my bets. And then how did you know? See a horn, bet a horn. How did you know?
See, I'm the opposite. Dice off the table. To me, same dice. The magnets are getting weaker. Good things are happening. So that's what I do. But anyway, our buddy Shep, DiceCon veteran, and I think I saw where he's ready to go for our next DiceCon. So he's ready to roll. So that was nice.
Tom says some mysterious somebody is responsible for bringing craps karma to the table. All you got to know is who, when, and where.
Yeah.
There's always that one person.
Yeah.
And going back to superstition, it seems like it's the lady, but it doesn't have to be.
No.
But there is someone.
The new player and all. But I tell you, the one who has the bad craps karma is the jerk butt, the screaming, the angry guy. And we talked about that before.
Your bet's wrong.
Let's get out of there.
7 comes. He brings the 7 every time.
Yeah, and then he's yelling at some guy like he's at a blackjack table. That's not supposed to happen. He shouldn't have bet that way. And leave the guy alone.
But this goes back to our conversation. I say bring enough for 10 shooters. This plays right into that because that's what you're hoping. If you last all around the table or most of the way around the table, you're hoping to find that one good karma guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. All right, let's see. And again, Brian agreed with us at the beginning. I think you pulled this up earlier. Most people don't bring enough money to play the way they want to. And that's true. They're just going to jump off the truck. They are hoping for lightning to strike early and often, or maybe they're trying to get in a little bit of time before dinner or something. But yeah, they just get in there and just get off it. So let's see who else we got in here. Joe, Craps Master Journey was in here earlier, and again, I know he's a big guy who practices his toss and everything. And like I said, pulling for you, Joe, just teasing, all that good stuff. And we had Chris saying howdy also earlier. And then, here we go. Pete said, happens to us all, Jim. I think when I was ranting earlier about, hey, getting in and, oh my gosh, and stick with the strategy. I'm down to 200. Do I really want to waste another 20 minutes farting around or, just do it? And I just go up to the room and go to bed or whatever. I've had those experiences as well. But yeah, I'm glad that misery loves company there.
He says he's finding it hard to double up every session. Easier.
Heck yeah, every session, yeah.
I mean, doubling up is difficult. It's you got to have a couple good rolls, or you got to bet the side better. Yeah, that's a tough walk away strategy. Is double up.
But sometimes I've tripled though. I mean, those are the times when you're like, oh my gosh, and it's really cool.
Molly, you see the graphs sometimes.
Oh yeah. And in fact, a lot of your videos here lately, the 3-point Molly's done really well on a lot of the strategies. And looking in hindsight, it's a great way to play, except when it loses. Yeah.
Except when it loses.
Yeah, except when the dolly's winning. Yeah, they're always
very inverse. Yeah.
Yeah. Very rarely are they about the same over there. Let's see. What else we got there? Anything else? Anybody else got any comments? I think I've gotten to where Jeremy was. I will say this about Nemo. Hey, like I said, Mike earlier, 85 Bears. Mike was playing on his channel, but I don't know who the lady was, and that might have been Mrs. Nemo. I don't know, Nemo, if you're still there, maybe you can answer. But she ran the table, I think, and hit the ATS when she was rolling. And if you didn't make money on that one, because I was playing along with Crapsy with those guys too for a little bit. And but anyway, you can't make money hitting the ATS. That's a bad roll, especially when it's 20 plus or whatever. So, but yeah, you can triple up easily if you hit the ATS. Of course, you can triple down though too, if you're giving it away and don't hit it.
Man, I don't have them with me. I was gonna say I could sneak peek. So some club stuff. April 1st, the new chips are coming out.
Cool.
So the new chip design. Should be a fun one. I just got those in the mail. So April 1st, those will be coming out to you. Red members, and then the green members get the red and the green chip to start the new year. And let's see what else. If you ordered a mat, they all went in the mail Saturday, so you should be seeing those in the next couple days.
Yeah, I got an email on that, so I'm very, very excited about that.
Most people added their email, so they got tracking. Some people didn't provide their email, so it'll be a surprise when it shows up. Or you can email me. I'll get you a tracking number if you want. But the mats are out, so that's fun. What else about the club is?
Have you had any? I know you've been busy with the cruise and the wedding and everything. Any dice? Because we're going to have people asking about Dice Con preparations. I know we got the dates, but you got anything to announce on that? I've been working on that at all?
I got some people that have left me unread or whatever. They haven't responded. The ball's in their court, so I'm gonna have to follow. Now that I'm back, I got to follow up. Hey, why didn't you answer my questions? And let's get going. So
all right, no worries. Not pressuring you. I know you're a busy guy, but I know for the club members, we really enjoy it. And want to start planning, and it depends on where we're gonna.
I gave a rough schedule in the Discord on the DiceCon channel, so there's a temporary shell there. Should give you an idea of where you want to stay. Okay. But I would just stay wherever you're comped, or you can.
Yeah, exactly. Wherever
is the best option,
Yeah.
Because you can always Uber or whatever around.
Yeah,
we'll super cheaply ride a bus, but we're not scattered all over the place. I don't think, depending unless I don't know. It is what it is.
Okay.
I don't see any more questions.
Yeah, probably not.
Now's your last chance.
Are we going to be on for next week? What's on your schedule?
Oh, shoot. As far as I know, let's see. I think I got a slow month. Oh, okay. All right.
No, suddenly it got not slower.
No, this is a fun one. One of my favorite podcasts is You Can Bet on That.
Yeah. You turned me on to that. I've been listening to that. Yeah.
Well, maybe you should join. So next Sunday they have I think it's once a year or twice a year they run a poker tournament. It's free. It's online. They use Poker Stars or whatever.
Yes.
So you can register or whatever. But I try to play that every year, and that's this week. So, but it starts at 10 a.m. my time. So I should, even if I win, I should be done before the podcast.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one with Dr. Mike. And what's the other fellow's name? You think of?
Mark and Dr. Mike.
Mark and Dr. Mike. Yeah. They're very, very entertaining and have hundreds of episodes.
Yeah,
so very good.
They were like, there's a lot of Vegas centric podcasts, but they lean into craps because that's their favorite game.
Right.
So if you love craps, listen to them. And like years and years and years and years they've been doing it.
And great stories too.
Yeah,
great stories.
They're great storytellers. Yeah, I think we're good to go for the next. I don't see anything anytime soon.
Okay.
We should have a good streak of podcasts going.
All right.
Still no questions from me. People are sticking around. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they miss you.
They're waiting for me to say something.
Words of inspiration. Yeah.
The longer we stick around, I might reveal something.
Yeah. You got anything to say?
Here we got.
A
new pen.
You're gonna have to zoom in again. Here we go. Ah! No,
This is for
I can see it. Yeah,
club members.
Yeah.
Have been here for 5 years. My club has been around for 5 years. So actually, it was on. They joined in February, so March 1st. I'm a little behind, obviously. These should have been mailed out, but there are a number. I think there's 9.
Wow.
OG club members that joined in February 5 years ago, and so they get this pen to commemorate 5 years.
That's incredible.
So they've got 5 of these. They come in different colors, and then this one has 5 pips on it. I don't know what do I do for year 7, because after 5, I go to 6 pips.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do at 7. I guess I could add 2 dice.
Or you could do a big 7 across the top or something. Go
or
ugly
just change
1
it
year.
up.
Or 2 dice.
7 years, I need to send them like something more substantial than a
Yeah,
pen.
you would think. Yeah.
Yeah, and the green members, not for red members. Those are green members. That
Right.
get those pens. So
Yeah.
that was amazing support for 5 years. So I love those folks. But yeah, maybe I guess on year 7, I owe them something bigger.
That's funny. And Tom saying, hey, he's sticking around. Hey, Tom, always a pleasure and appreciate your comments and chiming in and love chatting with you as well, too. So we got anybody else anything else you need to say? Want to say?
Car stuff this week. I gotta.
Oh, well, let's talk about that. What happened?
Well, the kids' cars got a 7 E8 code, which is who knows what.
Mm-hmm. I have to Google that.
I do know it's the ECM module. So, but it could be all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
I might have to take that one in.
Oh, wow.
My car, I'm debating. It needs brakes. They're pretty mushy. It's the air conditioner. Actually, it's the heaters. There's something wrong with the heater.
Okay.
When you try to heat,
heat
only happens? Comes out of the driver's side. That all the other vents ice cold.
Check your.
My wife hates it.
And you've checked the coolant level and all that good stuff.
Yeah, the levels are good.
And the actuators.
I couldn't tell you about that. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
that and then regular maintenance. It needs an oil change. The brakes. But yeah, I gotta figure that out. And then the tire monitoring system. There's something bad with
TMPS.
That light's been
pressure
on. That one though has been on for
system.
like 6 months. The tires are fine because I checked them, but manually. But there's something.
Yeah,
wrong,
I've
so
got one with my wife's. I've watched so many videos on trying to figure out how to reset it myself, and Still not.
I could do a reset,
No.
but it doesn't reset so there's usually a sensor either inside the tire
Yeah, like in
or
the valve stem or something.
or
I'm
whatever.
sure.
So
Mhm.
they say sometimes they get knocked off or knocked around or loose. So I don't know. I guess I gotta. Who knows? Anyway, I gotta do some car stuff.
Okay.
JF said, "See you next week."
Yeah. All right.
What about you? What do you got to look forward to this week? Hopefully not.
Let's
problems.
see. No. Knock on wood, no car problems. My oldest son is closing on his first house, so hopefully we'll be
Yeah.
moving him in to his place. That'll
in
be
the in the local area.
yeah,
right?
yeah, not too far from about 3 or 4 or 5 miles at the most, 4 miles from the house, which is nice. And
I'm debating moving away from my kids. I got them all here to Reno, and now I'm going to move away from them.
well, I've got one down in Titusville
Texas.
working,
Yeah.
working down for SpaceX, and then he's the youngest one. Then the oldest one's working in the defense industry. He's kind of a machinist kind of guy. So, but anyway, I'm proud of both of them, doing very well. And my Bonnie Boo, my wife, she started a school this year at ESL school at our local church, and she goes twice a week at morning session and evening session on Tuesday and Thursdays, where they teach English as a second language to people who would like to learn English. So she's been doing that, and that's what her last job when she retired is what she did. So yeah, staying busy with all that and just kind of getting busy and heading into spring. And once spring is here, summer's around the corner. So getting very excited as a teacher over there. So
You got all your summer because you're off.
the summer stuff. Oh yeah.
You're lining up all your stuff.
Yes, sir. So spring break, we're doing a cruise. So I'm going to try out those Carnival cruise ships with those bonus bets. Hopefully after I'm up, Ken, and be ready to roll with that one with some house money. And then, so yeah, we've got, I don't know. It's the week after. Yeah, DiceCon.
We've got a cruise booked together.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm trying to catch up to year 6 in a year, so but it won't happen though. But yeah, I've had a couple of 3s. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So I'm excited about it. So lots of good things to look forward to. Definitely.
Well, people are still kind of here. I don't know. We're just gonna have to cut it.
Well, we're gonna cut it. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna have to
It's
cut
good to
it.
talk to you and catch up with you.
Yeah. Good to see you, and tell the family I said hey. And I know your sister's not here. Normally, she's our number one biggest fan.
What the heck?
But hopefully, well, what you didn't see her, you said, right? So
she didn't come to the wedding. She's busy with tax season.
Tax season,
yeah,
that's
she
right.
does,
In that business, yeah.
Yeah, in that business. So
Okay.
that was her excuse not to come to the wedding. So I guess that's her excuse not to show up on a Sunday night.
Yeah, because
support
she's
us.
right now, trying to figure out how to keep people's money from going to the IRS and get money coming back. So we've got that, and then your wife's not here because she's elsewhere with her job.
Yeah,
So,
Hawaii. Yeah, she's
Tough
got a tough
one.
job. Spends
Yeah.
a couple times a month in Hawaii.
Maybe she's hanging out with Brian at Hawaiian Crap Shooters, depending on which island.
No, she's on the wrong island. I think he's on
okay.
what do they call it? The main island, Honolulu or whatever.
The Big Island? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. She's on one of the other ones.
Okay. All right. Well, no family, so sad. Empty house. And you're trying to move away. It's a shame, people.
Vegas is on the list, Jim. That might be exciting to those that are still here.
Yeah. It
moving
could
to
happen.
Vegas.
It could happen. I think
I told my wife
ahead.
we got to have a decision by March 31st.
all right, so
her.
that's coming up.
That's coming up quick. But then because I got a lot going on, my lease ends in the end of June. So I'm going to have to ask for an extension, like maybe 3 months.
Okay.
Even if I do move, because I'm not going to have time to pack and move and blah, blah, blah. Right.
Okay.
Why did I start saying that? I think I eliminated Phoenix off the list. And it's simply because I don't want to go back to state income tax.
Okay.
You probably don't know what that's like.
No,
that.
we get state income tax.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah. And we also have sales tax and a bunch of other taxes, property taxes, personal property taxes here in Virginia. A little ironic, mother of the presidents, and we've got a lot of taxes in Virginia. Although We're trying, but yeah.
What's your sales tax, by the way?
Sales tax, I think, is right around 5%, 4.5%, 5%.
Okay.
Right now.
Yeah, ours is like 9.5, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so.
But we got no state tax, so. And I don't know what property tax is because I currently just rent.
Okay. Do you have personal property like cars and stuff? Do you have to pay to your municipality?
That's unbelievable when I hear stuff like that.
Yeah. I can't stand it. It's like you buy the car, you pay the taxes on the car.
Yeah.
And then, hey.
Yeah, because you own it. Yeah.
Yeah, we need a little more.
Outrageous.
Yeah, they just keep coming back. So
we're gonna have to Boston Tea Party this thing again pretty soon.
Yeah, it's heading that way. It's heading that way, man.
Not to get political, but
no, but it's heading that way.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe we've eliminated. Let's just stick in Nevada. It makes it easy. And we keep.
But you know what I was saying?
It all kind of balances out.
It makes sense because I see all these people, all these other YouTubers, and there's like 5 or 6. I posted one in the Color Up Discord today. You see these young ladies and young men, and everybody's got their Vegas YouTube thing, and it makes sense for you to be there. I really think it does. And there's enough.
There could possibly be some opportunity.
And you would think that somebody. Doesn't have to be the biggest casino group, but somebody would want to partner up.
Yeah, have Color Up come in and film it, on a regular basis.
Yeah, you would think.
Seems like a no-brainer, so that's why it's kind of, that's a big pro on my list. We'll see.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll take one of the days during DiceCon and everybody just pick a different door and knock on the doors. Hey, have you thought about Jeremy? Jeremy? Who's Jeremy? You don't know Jeremy?
Yeah, I could bring brochure like my
pass
my
out
sales
brochure
pitch brochure thing.
Yeah.
Take to the casinos here in Reno and pass them out. Everyone hit all the casinos and
do your elevator pitch.
Yeah,
Say, excuse me, sir. Let me tell you about why you should do something with me.
I should put this on the screen. We'll all wind up in the most honest city in the world, Las Vegas.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because everybody's so
Sin City. Now I can tell
caring.
you, if and when I do move to Vegas, it is a temporary move. I'm not a big fan of the city itself.
Mm-hmm.
So if I do it, it's for business opportunities. I know I have a small window, as much as I'd love to.
You keep saying that.
I know.
You said this before.
I'm not going to be doing craps 20 years from now. I don't think. I mean, if people still love it, but I see it hard.
I see you writing for magazines. I see you on TV.
We'll see. But I mean, I might get those opportunities, but I'm definitely not going to retire and stay in Vegas. It's just not my jam. It's not my style.
Okay.
So,
have you ever thought about wearing louder clothes? Like, I know in your videos, we always hear your voice.
Yeah.
We don't see a lot of you till, a little bit at the end. But like maybe during the podcast, like a busier jacket or something, or
what do you think that would do? What do you mean?
I don't know.
It's pretty loud. Like, would I have Panthers colors?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes you walk in there with a Browns jersey. I mean,
yeah, my cruise attire is very bright. It's like I got a pink shirt, a bright blue shirt, a bright green shirt, a white shirt with fish all over it. Like my cruise attire, you'll see.
Okay,
it's bright.
Okay,
I don't know. But again, I'm not a Vegas guy. I'm not about the glitz and the glamour.
Yeah,
and the
no
lights.
chains
so that's why,
and stuff. Yeah,
that's why. Yeah, I'm dressed dark and unflashy. It's just who I am.
Okay. Just a thought.
Although I did bring a little bling today.
Yeah.
I got on. They're not real glasses, as far as I know. I could still see really well, but it's supposed to be those
blue light, right? Blue is it blue light they're getting rid of?
Something, I don't know. My kids got it for me for Christmas and said these might help. You're always looking at the computer screen. I can't tell the difference, but
maybe your eyes can.
They did. I'm a little self-conscious about the bags under my eyes, so maybe this kind of distracts.
It does make you look very smart, though.
Yeah, does it?
Yeah, I think
it does for everybody, right?
Yeah, I think it does for everybody. It's instant street cred.
My IQ goes up a few points when I put them on.
Definitely.
All right. Well, I couldn't coax any more questions or comments from the crowd that are still sticking around. They're just sticking around to hear us blabber on.
Or either that, or they just have the volume down. Just
Yeah, they probably
playing
walked
in the
away.
background. Probably.
I don't know.
Probably. I don't know. Maybe not.
I'd be entertained by this maybe if I was.
Really?
What else can I say? I don't know.
I don't know.
No,
You
I could say, you know what?
You got 2
delaying.
videos
I
to do.
I gotta get to work. I gotta go
Yeah.
make a video. So I don't even know what it's gonna be about. You have any suggestions for me?
You talking about for your color up for the TV video?
Yeah, but I will use it also for YouTube. So it can't be an informational video because I don't have time to do like. They usually take longer research, figure it out. It's just going to be.
Why don't you do that one where you had like you
strategy
brought $200 and you tried to do the hit the midnight or
12?
whatever, the 12, yeah. Or
You mean
the
like
2.
redo it?
Yeah, like redo that one or something, or I don't know if you got time. I don't know how long ago was it you did that other
That's
one. But
probably been a couple years. It's still a very popular video.
yeah, is it?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe I could just switch a different number.
Yeah, switch it to 2.
I know
Yeah.
a lot of people are like, "Why didn't you play the 11?" Like, I don't know. I have to watch the video and get the concept of it, but it was essentially
YOLO. Yeah, that could be YOLO. $200 on the YOLO. It's Yo life
the
with
YOLO.
Yo money.
that might be the ticket. I'll have to.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll have to take a look at that. That might be
But I like those kind of like gimmicky kind of things.
okay.
I mean, we see these people, do these little YouTube shorts. Hey, $10,000 right here or $1,000. Come on, man. Get back to the real world. The rest of us are $5 players, man.
Yeah,
There's a reason. There's a reason why there's not that many people in the high limit rooms. Rest of the casino is paying the bills, the 15%. Yeah.
Yeah, you do see a lot of that high limit.
Emptiness.
$500 across all the numbers. Crapless crabs. Let's go. It's fun. It's a fun 30-second, but I don't know.
Yeah, not me.
I can't even do it with fake chips on my table. So
No, I can't either. I can't do it in Crapsy. Yeah,
all right, man.
happen.
You have a good night, and thank you guys for watching. We will see you next week.
Au revoir.